Get what you missed on
Pearl in the Morning with Tina and Zuki.
And Dunko.
Transition is for a lot of people. For many people, actually, transition happens all the time. You see, when you got the new job, that was a transition. Now, between the old and the new, there's a transition going on. You started getting pressure. You started getting restless. A mother carrying her baby this morning, between the conception and towards the delivery, that season, you started eating a lot. Baby started kicking you. You'd wake up, you're sweating. You see what we're talking about this morning? Yep. Transition. Now, one of the finest lessons you're ever going to learn about transition is that I know you're going to wish that God is going to give you a warning about transition happening, but we came to encourage you this morning and tell you that warning might not show up. You've had statements like life happens, change is the new normal, and all is well and good. And throughout history, a lot of people have faced change. But the question is, how do you respond to life transitions, both small and large? One, we're asking you to pray. Remember, when you're being told, don't worry about anything, but in everything through prayer and petition with thanksgiving, let your requests be made to God. Pray. Also plan. Also remember, there are people that are in your life right now that are gonna be gone. So you want to keep perspective. God is your refuge and your strength. I help in every time of need. I help in trouble. So you take a good look and a fresh look at God and see how that works for you. So this morning, when Ecclesiastes tells you there's an occasion for everything and a time for every activity under heaven, we came to let you know, don't lose track of the transition you're going through. And when it begins to happen to you, understand there are things about you that God is going to bring to the surface that cannot go with you into the new season. You're going to have to leave them behind. This may also include people, activities, things that you got used to, because they cannot help you in the new season. When you relocate, there are things that you have that cannot sort you out in the new place. If your life currently is going through a transition, it's going to feel a bit upside down, a bit rushed. But this is time for you to dwell more heavily in the presence of God so that you can hear clearly what He's saying about this time. Would you imagine if people like Peter and others in the Bible had stayed locked up in their house after Jesus was gone out of here? What would have happened if they never went out? What would have happened if they were not tough enough to stick it out and trust that God had something more on the other side of transition? I came to tell you today, seasons are shifting. Be careful this morning that you're in the right place and that you're transitioning with the Lord so that you don't delay, you don't get stopped, and you don't get hindered. God has something greater for you on the other side. It might take longer than you expect, this is true, but hang on. The reward is going to be worth it. The growth you will experience is going to be like no other time in your life. Don't give up in the time of transition. Hold strong to your faith and trust that God is going to see you through. When we tell you God is going to make it right, He's going to make it right. So we bring you this devotion this morning to stand with you, because even as a station, we're going through a transition. A lot of changes are going to happen. A lot of changes some of you might not like and some of you will like, but that's what God does. He's a shifting God. He's not a monument. He's a movement, and He does it for our good. So when things don't look like they're gelling, we're in a transition season, and we've got to be very careful that we don't miss God in that season. Hallelujah. Are you blessed? Do you now understand why you've got the restlessness going on? And do you understand why right now you are like, I need to make sure I hear God? So here are a few questions we'd like you to carry with you through the day. What transitions are taking place in your life right now? Can you see how God has prepared you for them? Also, think about a time of waiting in your life. How did that prepare you for what took place later? Also, how often do you spend time or spend focused time with the Lord? And how do those times develop intimacy with Him? But more importantly, what hinders those quiet times? And how can you avoid those distractions? You're in a time of, transition. You're in a season of transition. God's got you. He's absolutely got you. Stay put. Make sure there's no delay. Make sure you don't go ahead of God. And make sure that your ear is stuck to the mouth of God. He's got this. He's going to make it right. He's going to make it right.
Join Tina and Zuki and Danko on Pearl in the Morning.
Weekdays from 5:30 a.m. to 10 a.m.